Present-day China is known for their mass production and exportation and is even called the factory of the world. But was it always this way? Starting from the 15th century, China was an isolationist country and closed off their ports to foreign trade. The Opium Wars started when Western countries sought political influence and international trade from China. When China refused to let foreigners expand their trade network, they used their powerful military, thus starting the Opium Wars. This event even affected China's economy, military, and trading system till today. The foreign ideas introduced to China took the country out of isolation and into modernization. The First Opium War began in November 1839 when China was very strict with foreign trade. Before the war, Western countries such as Great Britain, France, and the United States were already expanding all over the world and were powerful enough to take control of other countries. They embraced the idea of free trade and their military was powerful enough to enforce these ideas onto others. In 1757, the Qing Emperor ordered that Guangzhou, also known as Canton, would be the only Chinese port open to trade with foreigners only through licensed Chinese merchants. During the 18th and early 19th century, the balance of trade between China and Great Britain was heavily in China's favor. While the British shipped Indian cotton and silver for tea and other Chinese goods, the Chinese weren't as eager to trade. This caused the British to lose large amounts of silver. As a result, the British replaced cotton with opium, and this act was shown to be successful. By 1810, the importation of opium to China increased from 4,500 chests to 40,000 as more Chinese citizens became addicted to opium. Under the leadership of official Lin Zhishu, China sought to target the producers of opium to suppress the trade and addiction to it. As China made a destructive attempt to end opium trade, British troops began capturing cities and bombarding forts up the Pearl River until a preliminary settlement was called for. China was forced to sign the Treaty of Nanjing and the British Supplementary Treaty of the Bulk, which only benefited Great Britain. The Treaty of Nanjing opened 5 more treaty ports where the British citizens and merchants could reside in, while the British Supplementary Treaty of the Bow gave British citizens extraterritoriality and most favored nation status in China. Though the opium liability was detrimental to China, importation of opium decreased after reaching its peak in 1879. In 1856, the Second Opium War, also known as the Anglo-French War, emerged. Great Britain and France wanted further commercial privileges in China, including the legalization of the opium trade and more legal and territorial concessions in China. The tension between China and these Western powers started in October 1856. Chinese officials boarded a British ship in Canton and arrested Chinese crew members and said to have lowered the British flag. This caused hostility between the two sides and caused many fights between British and Chinese troops. Later that month, a British warship sailed up the Pearl River estuary and began bombarding Canton. Trading stopped and the Chinese started to burn foreign factories in Canton. Then in late 1857, Great Britain and France started a military operation against China. They quickly captured Canton and captured Tianjin in May 1858 and forced negotiations. The Treaty of Tianjin in June 1858 opened more ports in China and gave residence to foreigners. Later on, opium was legalized. In October 1860, British and French troops captured Beijing and burnt the Yuanming Garden, the emperor's summer palace. This event was followed by the Beijing Convention, which gave full power to the Western countries, and the Chinese government was only allowed to operate under foreign powers. The bitter defeat of the Qing Empire was the key factor in their downfall and the rise of the Communist Party. In the long run, the Opium Wars may have been a positive event. Though China wasn't open to it, international trade helped improve the country and many Western ideas were beneficial. Although China's violent transition left many Chinese bitter, China grew powerful, and we see their power displayed in today's world, even in our daily lives. Many of the products and items we use today wouldn't exist the way it is if China was kept isolated. But the debate as to whether this tragic event was positive or negative is up for one to decide.